All right, middle school course planning. Let's start with kind of talking about what credits are required for you to complete middle school and go on to high school. Well, as a homeschool completer, you would need, and public school students need 12 credits in the 12 core, and those credits will be in core classes. You need 3 credits in middle school language arts, 3 credits in middle school math, 3 credits in middle school science, and 3 credits in middle school social studies. There is a half-credit elective called Middle School Career Research and Decision Making that is required for public school students to take, usually in their 7th or 8th grade year, to go on to high school, but not homeschoolers. But I'll put this little disclaimer out there. If you finish out 7th grade, 8th grade, and you're planning to go back to high school in a public school setting, you're probably going to want to take that half-credit elective as well, just to make sure you're meeting the requirements that the public school students have to meet. Okay, hi Andrea, welcome. Okay, I'll just keep on going along, and then because we don't have many people here today, we'll have a long question and answer session at the end for you guys, and even give you the mic if you need it. So we'll keep plugging along. So basically, these are the 12 and a half credits you need to complete in middle school to be promoted on to high school. So it's not as simple as just 3 of any course you want, or 3 social studies of any kind. There's actually specific classes that you need, and these are them right here. This is the regular track. So in 6th grade, you would take your middle school language arts 1, and you take your middle school mathematics 1. The social studies in 6th grade would be world history, and then the science would be comprehensive science 1. Then in 7th grade, you move on to your language arts 2, your mathematics 2. The social studies for 7th grade is civics, and then the science would be comprehensive science 2. And finally, when you're all grown and you're in 8th grade, you will be in middle school language arts 3. You'll take middle school pre-algebra, getting you ready for the algebra 1 you would take as your first high school credit. Middle school U.S. history is the social studies for the 8th grade, and there is it says 8 next to it when you're registering for the class, because there is a high school version of the course, so you want to make sure you're not accidentally taking the high school level U.S. history, because you're definitely going to be in for a shock. Make sure that you pick the middle school level U.S. history class when it comes time to take your 8th grade social studies. And finally, the middle school comprehensive science 3. Okay. Now, some students accelerate in some classes, specifically all their classes across the board. It just depends on the student. We know that you're all unique. So there is kind of an advanced track a student can follow. And they can come in here and they could take the regular track that I just showed you, but instead take our advanced level classes. And the difference is regular level classes is just the curriculum that is covered for that grade level for that subject. When you elect to take the advanced level, it's a little bit more challenging. There's going to be some more assignments involved, possibly some extra tests involved. But basically, the advanced track is preparing you for in the future in high school to get prepared for the honors level. I know a lot of times in talking to students as a counselor for the years I've been doing this, it's never too early to start thinking about the future, even in middle school, even elementary school. I was an elementary school counselor, and my 3rd graders would be, oh, this isn't going to matter, this isn't important to me, but having that understanding that everything you're doing right now is going to eventually lead to, through middle school and your course progression through high school and what colleges you're accepted to and ultimately your career path. So you really want to think about this and challenge yourself and put forth a little more effort. If you know that you can challenge yourself, jump in and take an advanced class and see how you do. And you don't have to pick advanced for every single subject area. It may be that you struggle in math, but you excel in language arts. Take language arts advanced and take math just regular. That's perfectly fine. It's individualized to your needs and your academic level. Okay. And I know I talk fast, so I will take a breath and slow down, and I will go on to the next. I'll go on to the next slide here. Okay. Here's a sample of a more rigorous track where this student is accelerating in two subject areas. They're still taking their basic language arts and social studies at the advanced level. They're still challenging themselves there, but they're moving up a level in math and science. In 6th grade, the student would take Mathematics 2 Advanced. So they're taking their 7th grade math curriculum and bumping up to that grade level. Same thing with science. They go right into Comprehensive Science 2 Advanced because they're ready for it. They've had it, they may have advanced through elementary and had high FCAT scores, and they're ready for the higher challenging classes. Then into 7th grade, they would still have their Language Arts 2 Advanced and their Social Studies Advanced, but then they get to accelerate into pre-algebra as a 7th grader, or even Algebra 1 if they've already had pre-algebra. And with science, they can go into the 8th grade Comprehensive Science 3 Advanced, or even accelerate into high school level Earth-Based Science. And then finally, 8th grade, the student will move into their regular Language Arts 3 at the advanced level, of course, and the U.S. History at the advanced level. But then they would opt to go into Algebra 1 if they did pre-algebra in 7th grade, or geometry if they did Algebra 1 in the 7th grade. So, and then science, too, you see the student accelerates, and they can take either earth-based science if they haven't already, or go even into biology or physical science. So, again, it's all having to do with the students' individual needs, where they are academically, what areas they excel in. And for homeschool students, which I know many of you are, you have kind of that freedom to be a little bit flexible. As long as you're moving in a course progression that's academically appropriate for you, then you'll be fine. Okay, let's keep chugging along. There is a slide we wanted to add this year, just as a little disclaimer. I know some of you had mentioned that you're homeschooled or homeschool parents. This year's school year, the Civics EOC is given to all students that take the civics course in public school setting. So they take the EOC, and the assessment, the results of it, 30% of that is reflected into the student's final grade. But the student does not have to pass the Civics EOC to be promoted to high school. So Civics EOC is brand new for middle school. It's the first time we've had an EOC in the middle school level. Students in the public school setting that are now taking the class from here on out will have to take it, and 30% of that final, or their score will affect their final grade for the course. But for homeschoolers, the Civics EOC is optional. If you'd like to take it, you can. If you don't want to take it, you don't have to. It's not going to hold you back from any promotion to the next grade level or even to high school. Okay. Let's keep going. Okay. Whew. Before I kind of jump into scheduling, how many of you, if you're a student, you could be honest and let me know. If you're a parent, you can let me know about your student. How many of you guys feel that you are completely organized, you have a set schedule, you brush your teeth at the same time every day? If you do that, there's a little check mark above the participant listing where you can click yes or no. Or no, I don't know what day it is, or my toothbrush is, and that's actually bad. You really should find a toothbrush. But, all right, so pretty organized in this group. You would say you're pretty organized. We like to talk to families and students about scheduling their courses, especially those students new to homeschooling and using Florida Virtual School. In the public school setting, you can have a schedule where you have 6 classes going at one time, and you are going from class to class, and the bells ring, and you leave, and it's manageable. In the virtual setting, sometimes that can be overwhelming to have 6 different virtual teachers, 6 different virtual classes to keep up with, not even for just the students to keep up with it, but the parents as well, with the monthly calls and making sure that they're keeping up with checking the pace charts and everything. That a lot of times taking no more than 3 or 4 classes at one time is a smart idea, especially being new. And here's 2 examples I wanted to share with you tonight. That the 3-on-3 course schedule model. In this model, this student elects to take some electives. And remember, I had mentioned that electives are not required for promotion for middle school students, but they're definitely there if you would like to. We have middle school guitar that's brand new, middle school creative photography, oh my goodness, beginning Spanish, all the PE classes. We have lots of electives that middle school students can opt to take if they'd like to. Definitely an option there. So With this example, the 3-on-3 model, this student elects to take their English and math, 2 of their core classes, and an elective during August to December time frame. So that first semester, they finish both segments of all 3 of those classes, and they have them done. And then the next semester, January to May, or whatever time frame works with the family, because homeschoolers aren't set to any time frame. Students take classes with us year-round. In the next chunk of time there, the student takes a science and a history and opts to take another elective, or maybe just science and history, and they're done for their curriculum they'd like to do for the year. Another popular model with middle school students is the 4x2 course schedule, where the students kind of work on a traditional pace, 8-month schedule, August to May, where they focus on their 4 core classes, their language arts, their math, their science, and their social studies. And then they are interested in some electives, and they like to take some, and they opt to take 1 or 2 during the summer months instead. So it really can be whatever, like I said, individualized, works best for your student or you. And your counselors are here to kind of help work through everything with you. So this is kind of a general overview of how you should schedule your courses. And now we're kind of going to jump into a little bit more in depth of the per day schedule, because that's a question we as counselors receive a lot from families. Like, okay, well, I have these classes all set up or ready to go. How does this work? How do I do this? We just came from a schedule, the bell rings, we moved to class, and everything's structured. It's good to keep that structure, and we would definitely be advocates for that, because we want to make sure that it's being a change too for some students who've never been homeschooled before. If they are at home and having the distractions of the house and the neighborhood and the doorbell ringing and other toys and video games and things like that, it's good to have school time and structure. Some families and students like to do the 1 subject a day, where they do the whole week's worth of a lesson on that one day. So say they dictate that Monday is language arts day. I'm going to work on my 7th grade language arts 2 all day Monday. And then Tuesday is math day, and then they have a day for each subject. And if they're only taking the 4 core classes, they can leave Friday kind of as a makeup day for themselves, where they are working to catch up. And yes, thank you for my pointer. I knew I was missing something. Okay. Look, now I have the sun. Okay, sorry. Yes, so the 1 subject a day. It works for some students. Some students need things broken down a little bit more. So they do 2 subjects a day, where they spread the second subject across the week just to make, and sometimes that subject is one that the student struggles in a little bit, so they tend to space that out around the week or across the week so that they're touching on it every day, because they need to come back to it and review things and make sure they understand the concepts. Now we're going to show you some samples here in a second of some homeschool schedules, and I'm not a morning person. I'm loving the night webinars. I can do it all the time. I have all my energy in the evenings. So my schedule might be a little bit different, where I work better when it's a little later in the morning and a little later in the night. But typically, if you have a schedule set like this with 3-hour chunks of time for study, that seems to be best, 2 to 3 hours. In this example, a student will work from 9 to noon on their studying and submitting lessons, take a lunch break from 12 to 1. It's important to eat a healthy meal in between and get your energy. And then from 1 to 3 p.m., they'll have study time and submit some more lessons. Now let me show you some more specific examples of this. Here's a schedule set up by 1 subject a day, where the student, these are some high school level classes, but this student is wanting to do 1 subject a day, and in the morning on Mondays, they do their American history. They work from 9 to noon on their American history. They take a little lunch break right here, which is important. And then from 1 to 3:30 in the afternoon, they come back and they complete some more work. They read a novel. They might take some time out to study for an exam they have coming up, contact their teacher if they need to do a discussion-based assessment or need some help with a concept they're just not grasping. And the schedule still lends itself for the student to have some family time and be involved in sports and extracurriculars and clubs and do their chores and get a little bit of time for themselves as well. And then Tuesday would be English day, and you see how it flows. The student is taking 5 classes, but if they were only taking maybe 4 classes, again, Friday could be your kind of day to catch up on anything that you maybe had gotten behind in. Now the 2 subject a day that I had mentioned, here's an example of that where this student works on a subject in the morning. This, again, is some high school level courses, but they're doing world history in the morning from 9 to noon. They're taking a lunch break. And then in the afternoon, they work on the first lesson for their algebra. The student might struggle a little bit with math and want to space it out throughout the week. And you see they space it out throughout the week. In the morning doing one of their other subjects, English, biology, and then back to algebra on Thursday, so they spend a good chunk of time on algebra each day to make sure they're understanding it and spending a little bit more time. And still having that Friday if they have a 5th class to work on that. So it really is, these are samples, these are suggestions. You know your child best, you know yourself best, you know what works best for you. There may be, you're looking at this going, oh my goodness, but we go to the library on Wednesday morning from 9 to 10, and what are we going to do? You can adjust it and make it a schedule that works for you. I would just suggest making it something that you can print and it's located in places in your house, whether it's the bathroom mirror or the refrigerator or somewhere that you're going to see it every day to remind yourself that this time is when I'm going to be working on this class. And that just keeps you on the right pace, keeps you from falling behind and focusing on your schoolwork. Okay, and speaking of extracurricular activities, like I mentioned, having time for that, we have so many cool student clubs. I am going to put the link in the chat box for you. Maybe. I'm going to try to. Because I want you to be able to access the clubs. It's not letting me paste it. If someone else can paste the student club link in there, I'm not sure why I can't paste it right now, but we have so many student clubs and opportunities available for students to get involved, to not only socialize with some other students at Florida Virtual School, and thank you, Dr. Cardenas, thank you. To get involved, to give back to their community too. We do a lot of things in our community and that our students are involved with. So it's not just sometimes you think you're at home with your computer and it's just you and your little world, but reach out and get involved and learn about the things that we're doing here at Florida Virtual School, because there's some awesome opportunities for you.